The Bears made a roster move on Thursday by adding another tight end to the roster, along with some positive news of the Bears' defensive secondary that helps, especially if Jaden Daniels goes for the Commanders this Sunday. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope all of you have some fun and safe weekend plans ahead. And I just want to say thank you all for your thoughts and prayers yesterday. My grandfather is still here with us and fighting, and your spirits helped get him through it and helped our family tremendously. So I want to thank you very much for that. So let's continue to spend the high weekend vibes going. And before I get more into today's show, hit the like button on this video to welcome Joe Wilson to Chicago, the Bears' new tight end, along with commenting FGB in the comment section below, because why the heck not? And are you a Bears fan and new to the channel and want free Bears news and content? Well, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and content. So let's jump into the Bears' new tight end, Joe Wilson, who is a practice squad player for the time being, can be brought up at any time, stands at 6'4", 242 pounds, is a heck of a player as well, with a lot of untapped potential. He has hopped around the NFL playing for the Saints, Bills, Packers, and Giants in his 3-year NFL career. And the reason why a lot of teams like him is because he was an all-MAC team player back in 2022 at Central Michigan. And when given a shot, he absolutely produces. Any of these guys in the NFL can be the next big star. And Joel Wilson, I'm not saying he's for sure going to be, but his stats show he could be somebody. Back-to-back 6 touchdown seasons his junior and senior year at Central Michigan, both seasons adding over 1,200 yards receiving, one of the highest blocking, pass and run blocking grades out of all tight ends in college football, and a very smart and passionate guy for the game. Also a team leader, was one of their associate captains, so a good locker room guy, and he carried that into the NFL as well. Good to see Chicago bringing in more positive guys like that, along with having great athletic ability. And again, I'm not saying this guy is the next Cole Kmet or the big tight end, but who knows? Give this guy a shot. He produces every single time. So welcome to Chicago, Joel. Great to have you a part of the team, and hopefully you get your opportunity. Other big news coming out of the Chicago Bears. So big injury updates for Chicago, and I'm going to start off with the positive ones. Tyreek Stevenson, our defensive back, who was out with a calf injury against the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been limited to start off the week, still fighting that calf injury, but at least he is back. Stevenson is ranked a top 20 defensive back according to PFF, allowing less than a 60 passer rating when targeted, over 14 different tackles, and he is definitely starting to ramp up for this team. He had 80 tackles in 16 pass deflections in his rookie season, and he already has 5 this year, missing a game. So I'm hoping Tyreek Stevenson is back on the field, especially against a tough Commanders wide receiver room. And if Jaden Daniels does go, we're definitely going to need the extra depth there. But the next man up mentality, Jalen Jones did a great job, who he is potentially going to be active this upcoming Sunday. So good to see there. Offensive lineman Larry Borom, good to have him back, a strong depth piece. I wouldn't put him in as a starter as my first option, but when he has the opportunity to play, he does fill in as a good depth piece. Happy to see him back, as he can play guard or tackle, so he's versatile. Good to see Borom back. Running back Travis Homer also is back from his injury, and if Herbert isn't getting touches, I don't expect any for Homer either. But if Homer does get touches this Sunday against the Commanders, I have no idea what the heck is going on with Khalil Herbert. We should have traded him a long time ago when his trade value was higher, and I just want Herbert to get the respect that he deserves. But Homer is back. He's able to he is practicing. He's able to play his upcoming Sunday if called upon. So good news there for the running back. Defensive tackle Zach Pickens, who's been out for the last 4 weeks with a groin injury, is back on the practice field in full participation. Good to see him back, as we need key defensive lineman depth, even though Chris Williams has been doing a good job behind Andrew Billings and Javon Dexter Sr. Good to see him back, the young prospect out of South Carolina. A lot of people had high hopes for him, and he could be a great 1-2 punch with Javon Dexter Sr. and Andrew Billings. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Defensive back Terrell Smith, who plays cornerback or safety, is also back in full participation. The big 6 foot, 225-pound safety packs a big punch, is fast, great at reading offenses, and is also back on the full participant field. If Jaquan Brisker can't go this Sunday, which he still hasn't practiced due to that concussion, absolutely Terrell Smith will get some playing time. And then defensive edge, Jacob Martin, also full participant with that toe injury he suffered during camp. Good to see him back, as the edge room could use some key depth there as well. And then long snapper Scott Daly, who went out against Jacksonville, why Cole Kmet had to be an emergency long snapper, also was back in a full participant in practice this week. It's that time of the year again. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops for incredible promotions, such as weekly risk-free boost on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. And if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. It's that simple. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes to their Super Survivor and Square contest. Get your entries in now for your chance to win huge cash rewards. When you're ready to get started, use my promo code Another Year to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with my promo code Another Year now before you even place a bet. So quickly going through some more injury news for the Chicago Bears. Jaquan Brisker is out still with a concussion, wishing him a speedy recovery, as that is one scary injury. And this has clearly been lingering now for over 2.5 weeks. So don't expect Brisker out there this upcoming Sunday against the Commanders. Likely Elijah Hicks or Terrell Smith will be taking his place, but wishing Brisker a speedy recovery. And Kyler Gordon, our defensive back, who also was starting to get hot, especially in that game against Jacksonville, re-injured the hamstring that he suffered during camp. Unfortunately, it looks like he won't be playing as well. So Josh Blackwell, who had an interception and only a 40 passer rating allowed when targeted, is likely to be the starter this upcoming Sunday against the Washington Commanders. And finally, before we close out today, I would like to thank Dan Richmond for bringing us Fantasy on the Fly.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy on the Fly. Hey, the numbers don't lie. Caleb Williams has been spectacular over his last 2 games. Williams, 530 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Hey, from a fantasy perspective, I expect it to continue for Caleb Williams this week for his homecoming in D.C. against the Commanders. The Commanders have a weak secondary. It's getting a little better, but I love Caleb Williams this week. Another guy who I'm really liking, it's someone on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers other than Baker Mayfield. Mayfield has lost his top 2 receivers, Chris Godwin, out for the year. Mike Evans out for a while. So who's Baker going to throw to against the Atlanta Falcons? He's going to throw to his big tight end, a guy who got him 100 yards last week, and I expect Baker Mayfield to continue to shine with Cade Otton. Cade Otton is a guy who I think is going to come up big again for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and if you have him in fantasy, you got to play him. And this is Fantasy on the Fly.
But FGB, guys, as always, happy Friday. It's a great weekend to be a Chicago Bears fan, and I would love to see the Chicago Bears get the big dub against the Commanders and a loss for the Green Bay Packers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll see what ends up happening. But with that, put an FGB in the comment section below. Like this video to welcome Joel to the Chicago Bears, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and notifications. Torrey Taylor jersey giveaways will be in a community post later today. I just am so exhausted from today, guys. I just couldn't choose the winners right away, so I need a night in order to choose them from the wheel, but it will be chosen while I'm traveling to Wisconsin tomorrow, so don't stay tuned for that. Look for the community post. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in, and bear down, baby.